Say, look out back with another banger. Hey, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Today with the family TV, this is one of the most notorious, most crazy hitmans ever, you did. But we finna tap into it. What the TV got to bring, the family TV got to bring on this one. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for you. But let's see how the young. I'm pretty sure somebody inside he was stepping out here. You heard me?
It's the start.
Philly, he from Philly. Oh yeah.
It's the start.
Oh yeah, Philly.
Legendary Frank, you heard me? This nigga
This one.
Officials in Philadelphia are trying to track down a man they say is connected with 3 separate murders. Investigators say a $5,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of Tyvine Jones.
He was dissing on my homie, and then that little nigga can't say a name in my song, cause I know the feds gon'
People try to run, they said his fat ass ain't get that far. But feet on land in Charlottesville, turn bumper in the track star.
Is dead after more gun violence in Philadelphia. Police say the 16-year-old was shot early this morning at the intersection of North 22nd and Diamond Streets in North Philadelphia.
Philadelphia police. This individual is one of the most wanted people currently in the city, and there's a $5,000 reward on his head.
Fam, I've been doing a lot. Last couple of weeks, I haven't been posting as much as I want to. I'm getting a new studio together for the New Year's, thank God, and I'm excited. And of course, I vlogged it to give you guys an experience and see how far we came. But headed to this weekend coming up, man, there's a couple stories I wanted to bring to you guys' attention this Thursday. One of them is based out of Philadelphia. In the last 24 hours of me making this video, the blind still leading the blind. You see, Philadelphia been looking for a man for the last 5 years, who some say the youngest alleged hitman in the city. And he finally been arrested after a 5-year manhunt within the last 24 hours of me making this video. Police say this young man whose alleged murder stretched across at least 3 years. And while he was online dropping music, giving out clues, taunting investigators, just 4 weeks ago, he released another diss track basically aimed at the cops themselves. Now authorities claim he wasn't just some random kid in the streets. They say he was the designated hitman for a well-known Philadelphia crew, which we'll later identify and discuss. And if I was anybody still tied to him, some would say at this moment, it'd be best to lay low on purpose. But here's where things get even crazier. Over the years, police say he bragged about having more than 3 bodies. And in one clip, he couldn't even hang around someone who didn't.
How you a killer, nigga? You ain't got more than 3. You ain't trying to slide, fuck it, then there's more for me.
So who are we talking about?
You ain't
A
trying
young
to
man,
slide,
some
fuck
say
it, then there's more for
150
me.
pounds soaking wet. According to Philadelphia police, a man that's responsible for taking the lives of a 16-year-old, his own best friend, a local rapper who dropped a viral diss song with over 2 million views we'll later talk about, who was gunned down just 4 days later after allegedly filming in his opposition's neighborhood, and another man months later. Today we're gonna break down a full timeline, identify who this young man is, his rap stage name, his nicknames, the murders he accused of, where he from, who he ran with, how some became enemies, and how some allegedly turned informants. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Fam, today we headed to North Philadelphia and visited a gang called Bloomberg Gang. According to local police, a violent drug trafficking organization, primarily associated with former Norman Bloomberg apartment public housing complex. The gang has been a target of multiple federal investigations and prosecutions for drug-related crimes and violence that quote-unquote terrorized the neighborhood. The gang operated out of the Norman Bloomberg Apartments, a high-rise public housing facility in the Searswood neighborhood of North Philadelphia. The complex was particularly demolished in 2016 as part of a redevelopment efforts. Philadelphia police say the gang was involved in heavy drug trafficking 24/7 on the streets, often accompanied by violence.
We're in North Philly right now, down Bloomberg Project, the heart of North Philly. A place where a lot of people wouldn't even come. I've been shot in both my legs. I've been shot in my face. It got so bad that the feds like, we can't really stop what's going on, but we can just knock your project down. Man, they really took our projects and tore it down and broke it down the way they really wanted to do it.
Over the years, Bloomberg had leaders like Stinson, who was sentenced to 30 years in prison in 2020, and Juan German, sentenced to 30 years in 2019. They were found to have tightly controlled operations, supervised sellers, and lookouts. They even had taxes on members and customers. Members included shift sellers, grinders, or trappers, and lookouts to alert them to law enforcement presence. But as of recent, it's a new man that's been people in Philadelphia call him Rookie of the Year. Tyvine Jones, also known as Erd, and Bloomberg Erd in his music tracks.
Ain't shot nobody, fuck ain't know I got a body. I was smiling on the hit, laughing as I shot. These niggas no get that game. These niggas ain't stand up for shit. I know he talks and turning in his grave. You should never made that dip.
Now that last song was a song that was released just 4 weeks ago. 41,000 views ain't counting, called No Get Back. Basically taunting his enemies and the police. Now mind you, at this point, he was on the run for 5 years, half a decade, fam. And on paper, for 3 murders. With the first murder allegedly happened August 23rd, 2020, where a 16-year-old lost his life on Diamond Street, an area in the Raymond Risen Projects.
Damn.
A significant public housing development located around 23rd and Diamond Street, which is frequently referenced as a key part of that specific hood. Original Valley, the blocks between 23rd and 25th Street on Diamond Street have also been historically associated with a specific local identity or group known as the Original Valley. The victim was identified as Hayward Garrison, aka Lil Ranger. He was struck by gunfire on the 2200 block of West Diamond Street on Sunday, August 23, 2020 at 1:10 a.m. He suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Lil Ranger was transported to Temple University Hospital, where he later passed away. May he rest in peace and love and condolences to his family. As mentioned, he was just 16 years old. He resided on North 29th Street in Philadelphia. And the crazy part about his story is that he lost his life to gun violence just a year after his sister lost her life. After both of his sisters were stabbed by a 19-year-old woman who lived on the same block as them over allegedly a social media dispute. The stabbing happened in 2019 at around 11:30 p.m. on a Monday on the 1500 block of North 29th Street. Shantae Garrison was 23. She was found lying on the ground with multiple stab wounds. She was taken to a hospital where she later died, and her sister, Tyshawn Layton, was also stabbed multiple times. She was released from the hospital after being listed in critical condition. Lil Ranger was just 15 years old at the time. His mother made an appearance on the local news. That's what she had to say.
Deadly dispute in a Philadelphia neighborhood. Officials say a woman and her sister were both stabbed by a neighbor. Tonight we're hearing from the mother of the victims. Action News reporter Maggie Kent joins us now live from the neighborhood with the investigation and a closer look at the suspect. Maggie.
Sarah, police say they know who they are looking for. They've issued a warrant for her arrest. A young mother of 2 is now dead, and her sister at the intensive care unit at this hour.
I taught them to be better than that. But when God has his plan, like, what can you do?
Arlene Layton is mourning the loss of her 23-year-old daughter, Shantae Garrison, a mother of 2 young children herself.
I never thought that somebody would come and stab her over a fight. And my other daughter is in ICU, and we didn't even tell my daughter yet. So my daughter can't even see the news or nothing.
Her 28-year-old daughter, Tayshawn Layton, is also recovering from being stabbed in a fight on their block at 29th and Jefferson last night. Police say the sisters were wounded in the fight with a new neighbor, a woman who initiated the confrontation and showed up with a knife. Social media postings may have fueled the tension between the groups. Layton says her daughters were likely caught by surprise when the aggressor brought a knife.
My kids is not like that. So they don't even know, like, when you dealing with people like this, all you had to do is come home. Come home.
Police have interviewed multiple witnesses. They say there may be more arrests to come in this case. Tonight, a family of Shantae Garrison will be holding a vigil here on the corner where she died in her memory. We're live in Brewery Town. Maggie Kent, Channel 6, Action News. Rick.
All right, Maggie, thank you.
Now, as mentioned, Bloomberg Erd, according to local police in Philadelphia, was responsible for Lil Ranger losing his life, and that was the story of him and his older sisters getting stabbed by a 19-year-old, leaving one deceased just a year prior. But just 2 years later, in 2022, police say Bloomberg Erd was responsible for a local rapper who some would say made one of the most disrespectful disses of all time. His name was Wesley Rodwell, aka Burke Street Man. As mentioned, he was only 20 years old, and on May 21st, 2022, he dropped a song titled 6 Feeters with over 2.4 million views, I ain't counting, and 16,000 likes. In that song, he could be seen dissing the dead, calling them out by names, going to his enemy neighborhood, shooting a music video, and dissing hoods in the process. And one of those hoods was Bloomberg.
In the tracks, ad car like Drizzy wasn't slumped all in that backyard. Heard Zebo try to run, they said his fat ass ain't get that far.
4 days later, May 25th, 2022, Burke Street Man was one of 4 men who was killed in Philadelphia. Philadelphia police say, while on the run for 2 years by that point, Bloomberg Earl was the alleged hitman later charged in connection with that murder. And the crazy part is, looking back, Bloomberg Earl had posted the picture of him and Burke Street Man. Things were true. And the next murder happened just a few months later, September of 2022. 23-year-old Ryan D. Finley was shot to death on the 1600 block of Crescent Street in the Nicetown, Toga area. For 5 years, Bloomberg Earl were going on a run. But a year after the last murder that's being documented in this indictment, his good friend Bloomberg G's would be gunned down in what some say in an accidental shooting. Not to mention, Bloomberg G's was a local rapper, but he also was wanted for the murder of the 16-year-old that we briefly talked about at the beginning of this video. Some say Bloomberg who accidentally shot his man going on a drill. Bloomberg G's real name was Anthony Watson. He was shot once in the back of the head on the 1800 block of North Woodstock Street just after 8:15 p.m. Wednesday. A 26-year-old man was also shot in the foot. Police rushed Watson to Temple University. He was originally listed in critical condition, but died about 4 hours later. May he rest in peace and love condolences to his family. He was only 21 years old, and he'd been a fugitive for over a year at that point, wanted for murder, as we mentioned. Apparently, they were trying to spin Burke. At the scene near Burke's and Woodstock Street, police recovered a gun plus 16 shell casings from 2 different caliber weapons, indicating the shootout. The motive remains under investigation. Some say Bloomberg Earl allegedly shot him in the head by accident. But then on the second week of December of 2025, after having a $5,000 reward, and you would think with 5 years on a run and only $5,000, they ain't really looking for you, but nonetheless, he would finally get apprehended. Jones was found apprehended in an apartment complex on Lansdowne Avenue in Delaware County the morning of Wednesday, December 10, 2025, after the U.S. Marshal Service said they received an anonymous tip.
Is off the streets. U.S. Marshals arrest an alleged hitman accused of shooting and killing 3 people, including a 16-year-old. The Fugitive Task Force took Divine Jones into custody at the Stratford Court Apartments in Lansdowne this morning. They say the 25-year-old is a member of the North Philadelphia Bloomberg gang. The alleged murders happened between 2020 and 2022.
As we said, family, blind leading the blind. 2 of the alleged perpetrators that was involved in these murders was already arrested. 1 standing trial, and 1 information is being scrapped from online, and some say he cooperated. But at the end of the day, this story ain't about clout music or who was up or down in the streets. It's the fact that we headed in 2026, and you gotta be a fool to glorify somebody who choose to be on the run, to make weak music, get no paper, risk having life in jail and being told on for $5,000. Now, after looking up information, it's important to know this. Before Jones was apprehended this time, he was arrested 1 month after the murder of the 16-year-old Lord Ranger on gun charges and later released. But after taunting online just 4 weeks prior in a music video, allegedly killing the man who was once his best friend, not to mention killing the man he once was cool with, before posting him on social media like he grieving. But that same internet he boasts on got somebody $5,000 during the holidays. And him apprehended, thinking it all was a game until that 5-year run finally came to an end. Now families left grieving, and the city is left picking up the pieces. And another young bull, as they would say, is staring at the rest of his future behind bars. Let this be a reminder, dissing the dead, chasing attention, and playing street politics for views don't end in a success story. It never does, and we never did one, and we never will be able to tell you one. They end in indictments, funeral.
Well, another one bite the dust. Have fun in jail, cause you finna get the big L, cause 3 people, and you state your best, you backed up your best friend. Ah man, bro, the world cricket, bro. It's be wicked at chill, boy. But yeah, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That's another one to bite the dust. At least you ain't 6 feet under. At least you can still breathe in and experience life. But your experience is gonna be in jail. So I mean, to each his own, my brother.